Bowler is on pole, number 14. Bradley Smith obviously won't be starting because of his accident earlier on. His truck beyond repair for today. Second row of the grid, 95 Ricky Collins and number 89 Simon Reed. Row 3, 69 David Jenkins and the 86 of Tom O'Rourke. And the fourth row is 68 Craig Reed and Ryan Smith, looking for win number 4 of the weekend and number 1. Then the fifth row, Stephen Powell, number 3, and Stuart Oliver, number 7. Problems for him in race 4, but he is there. He's on the grid. And number 12, Michael Oliver, and 92, Simon Faulkner, round out Division 1. And the gap back to Division 2, which will be headed up by Jim Bennett, number 28, in the Seth Atkinson. Alongside him, 41, Simon Cole. Then we've got number 10, which is Craig Evans, 6 of John Powell. Now, keep an eye if John Powell is there as the grid passes my commentary box, because he didn't start at race 4. Number 5, Adam Bintz is next, then 22, Paul Rivett, and Neil Yates, of course, starting from the back of the grid as he has in every race this weekend. So which way is this one going to go? Ryan Smith effectively starting 7th on the grid because we're missing Bradley Smith from the front row. With John Bowler alone on the front row. Is that Bradley Smith coming out? How on earth have they got that back out? I don't believe it. I am genuinely shocked at that. Well done to the 46 team. How on earth have they repaired that truck after the impact it took in race 4? They must have had every team in the paddock helping them out. That's the community spirit of truck racing. Everybody must have been all hands on deck to get Bradley back out there. That's incredible. It looks like he's going to start from the back of the grid. I don't think there's room for him to come through to start on the front row. That is an amazing repair effort. Full credit to everyone involved. Those of you who saw race 4 earlier on, the front end of that truck was virtually gone when it hit the tyre. On board with Paul Rivett for this one as he looks for another Division 2 win to close the gap on Adam Bintz and John Powell. I can't quite see from my position if John Powell is on the grid for this race. Let's take a look out of the window. Yes, so John Powell is there. Simon Cole, however, is not. The 41 truck is not there. Also on board with Simon Reed, the 89, as the pace truck moves into position. Now here's a reminder of what's happened earlier on in race 4. This is only a fairly short while ago this afternoon. Watch towards the back of the Division 1 group. There's the contact between the 86 and the 14. Bradley Smith goes spearing off onto the grass where there's no grip. Wallop straight in and almost straight over. The front end of that truck looks like it's destroyed around the front axle area. Look at the state of it. And that truck, I thought was written off, is now back on the grid. I cannot believe that. And not only that, the pace truck has moved aside and it looks as though Bradley Smith is reversing into position on the front row. That's the most extraordinary thing I've seen all season. Let's begin to rise. Will it be 4 for Ryan Smith? Will it be 4 in Division 2 for Paul Rivett? We're about to find out. We are underway. Let's rise down towards Redgate. They go on board with Simon Reed. Tries to move to the inside. He could take both of them here. They're going to be 3 wide. Look at this into Redgate. Goodness me, that's close. John Bowler's got the lead. He holds off Simon Reed, who's up into second place. Bradley Smith is in third. Then it's David Jenkins. Ryan Smith is boxed in there on the outside. Stuart Oliver on his tail. Division 2 pack. And next looks like it's possibly Craig Evans, who's got to the front in Division 2, the number 10. That's a good start. Side by side between Michael Oliver and Tom O'Rourke, and Ryan Smith has lost ground there. Look, he's dropped behind O'Rourke, and Stuart Oliver's in behind, and they were caught on the outside line coming through Redgate. Stephen Powell behind them. It's John Powell who's taken up the lead in the Division 2 field. There's a fair bit of smoke or steam there from David Jenkins. Looks like he's in trouble. If his turbo's packing up. We're on board with Paul Rivette in the 22. Didn't make the best of starts. He's having a go at Craig Evans to second place in Division 2. It's John Powell up ahead of us who's leading Division 2, the blue and red truck number 6. So Paul Rivette's trying to make his way through, looking to make it 4 wins out of 5 in Division 2 this weekend. Here comes your leader, John Bowler. Second place is Simon Reed. Great start by him. Here comes Ryan Smith up the inside. Somebody's gone off in the background over the gravel. That's Jenkins, I think. Yes, David Jenkins in all sorts of bother. 86 of Tom O'Rourke. Just about holding off the number 1, which is Ryan Smith. Stuart Oliver around the outside of Ricky Collins, who's dropping back. We think that David Jenkins may have blown a turbo. That may have been the smoke we saw. John Bowler leads it. He's holding off Simon Reed, looking for his second Division 1 win of his first season in the category, moved up from Division 2 this year. But Simon Reed to the inside. Here comes the Iveco. He's got the winning taste now, and he goes through at the Crater Curves. That's a good move by Simon Reed into the lead in the Reed Freight Iveco Struts. That's the old hairpin they cut. Third place is still Bradley Smith, holding off Craig Reed. Then it's Michael Oliver up there in 5th position. He's running well in the number 12, past the point where he spun in the rain earlier in the weekend. Then we've got Ryan Smith in the number 1. He's got ground to make up. Tom O'Rourke running well. Then Stuart Oliver, Stephen Powell, Ricky Collins, Simon Faulkner. Then the Division 2 pack. Paul Rivette side by side with Craig Evans. Up they come into McLean's. Rivette on the inside. Looks like he's got the move done. Yes, up into second in class. Let's see the gap ahead there too. John Powell, the number 6. David Jenkins has pulled up by the look of things on the outside of Coppice. Looks like he's out of the race. We believe from the smoke we saw that was a blown turbo. Bradley Smith in the lightweight MAN, still there in 3rd position. Must be such a struggle to handle with the damage the steering took earlier on. Stuart Oliver battling with Stephen Powell. Goes to the left, so does Oliver. They're all over the back of Tom O'Rourke. Simon Faulkner moving up as well onto the back of Ricky Collins. Small gap back to John Powell. O'Rourke round the outside, holding off Stuart Oliver. Here's a replay of, I think this is the demise of David Jenkins. Pulls off into the gravel. Great clouds of smoke. That certainly suggests a blown turbo to me. Same happened to Ryan Smith with his Mercedes there a few years ago. A few flames as well. Yeah, that's the turbo gone. Jenkins out of the race. Bradley Smith under fire from Craig Reed, who gets the bumper in a bit there on the exit of McLean's. He's been watching the Brisker F1 stock cars, I think, Craig Reed, with a move like that. Into the exhibition straight they go. Bradley Smith holds him off. Simon Reed in the lead. Craig wants to make it 2 brothers on the podium. Michael Oliver still 5th. He's got Ryan Smith on his tail. On board with Paul Rivette, and he's caught John Powell. This is for the lead in Division 2. Paul Rivette looking for his 4th win of the weekend. Chicane. You turn the other way there, you go down to the Melbourne hairpin. That's a bit tight for trucks. So that uses the assembly area and Parc Ferme, as you've seen all weekend. Down to Redgate. Daff holding the inside, the Dutch-built machine. Paul Rivette on the outside. Craig Evans and Adam Bint behind. It's been a quiet weekend for Adam Bint. A few turbo problems slowing him up a bit. The older Volvo white Aerodyne. The first truck in the series to run on the more environmentally friendly HVO fuel, and now all trucks mandated to run that in the championship. John Powell holds the lead in the DAF. 4 trucks minus third in Division 2 is Ryan Smith. He's up on the back of Michael Oliver. Stuart Oliver in there. This could get interesting. We know that Smith and the Olivers have a big rivalry, and Stuart's up the inside. He's going through. That was a cheeky move there by Stuart Oliver. And Ryan Smith, instead of gaining a place, loses one. And what's Michael doing here? He tries to lean across there at Ryan Smith. Ryan's going to have the inside line for the chicane. He'll get through on Michael and now have to attack Stuart. Ryan Smith avoids getting double teamed through there. He's still in 6th place behind Stuart Oliver. So the Olivers have swapped places. One from 5th to 7th and the other vice versa. Now here comes Stephen Powell. Could be into the top 7 in the number 3. Trying the outside on Michael Oliver, the number 12. Still your leader is the 89 of Simon Reed. Leads by over 2.5 seconds ahead of John Bowler, the number 14. Michael Oliver in the clutches of Stephen Powell now. Then we've got O'Rourke, and then Ricky Collett rounds out the top 10. Battle for the lead in Division 2, still headed by John Powell. Bradley Smith still holding 3rd in the 46. He wants to reward his team for their hard work there in getting him back out by taking a good result here. This is Simon Faulkner going well there too. He's attacking Ricky Collins. We're on board with Paul Rivets. Still on the tail of John Powell for the lead of the Division 2 category. The hill towards Coppice. Craig Evans still there 3rd, and Adam Bint in 4th. Not yet in a position to attack for the lead of the class. 5 laps completed by our leader. Nearly 4 seconds in it now between Reed and Bowler. He pulled away by over a second on that last lap, Simon Reed. There's Bradley Smith holding off Craig Reed. Then Oliver and Smith. Stuart Oliver, Ryan Smith. 17 British titles between the two of them. That's the point where Bradley Smith crashed earlier on. I really thought that truck was done for the day. Fair play to the team for proving me wrong. Can he hold off Craig Reed for 3rd? There's John Bowler going well in 2nd place. His win at Thruxton came in the curtailed race 4 after Neil Yates' accident. A bit of smoke there at the top. Oh, the leader's gone wide. That's Simon Reed. He's gone off at McLean's. I thought I saw some smoke there. That must have been tyre smoke, unless he's got a problem. So John Bowler leads. Simon Reed, I think, has rejoined and is still in 2nd place. Yes. So a mistake for Simon Reed, and John Bowler leads at Donington. He must have just locked up there on the entry. He must have missed his braking point. I saw smoke and I thought somebody may have pulled off with a mechanical problem. But no, Simon Reed made a mistake, flew off wide, and is down to 2nd. Over the line they go. John Bowler, the number 14, the man from Stockport, leads the way at Donington. Here comes Craig Reed attacking Bradley Smith. Has a look into red gates. Bradley Smith tries to turn in. They're absolutely together, and Craig will have the inside line now for the Craner Curve. He's got Stuart Oliver on his tail. Yes, Craig Reed is going to go through for 3rd. Bradley Smith goes wide. He doesn't want to repeat the collision earlier on, and Oliver and Smith get through as well. Yes, that was perhaps intelligent driving there by Bradley Smith. Just gave them the room they needed and didn't risk another crash. So Craig Reed is now 3rd. Stuart Oliver 4th. Ryan Smith is 5th. The leaders lapping Jim Bennett in the 28 and the Seth Atkinson. There go the leaders. Jim Bennett trying to get out of the way. Ryan Smith nearly clipped him there. Bennett, I think, didn't expect so many trucks to come through at once. Simon Reed is now back up, challenging John Bowler. Bowler holds the inside line. The Rapid Rubber and Rochdale HGV sponsored number 14 MAM. We're on board with Simon Reed. Looking at the timing tower, we have a change for the lead in Division 2 while all that was going on as well. Paul Rivett has taken John Powell, I can tell you, to take the lead in Division 2. We ride with Simon Reed in the Iveco down to Redgate. Swings it through. He's keeping in the wheel tracks of John Bowler. He'll be very satisfied indeed if he can hang on to win this, John Bowler. As we said, his other win was in a shortened race, shortened by a red flag at Thruxton. Down the hill, through the old hairpin. Simon Reed has a look on the exits. Now he's moved to the other side as they go up towards Schwantz Curve. Still trying to defend. Right on board, up towards the right-hander up McLean. Right on his rear axle almost there. Less than 4 minutes to go for Simon Reed to get the lead back again. John Bowler making his MAN the widest in the country right now. There was an award for the widest truck at Donington in the truck show later on, and John Bowler would probably win it. But is it going to be enough to hold back the Iveco? And the other three are now closing onto their tails as well as a result of all this battling. This is great stuff. Again, Bowler moves to defend into the chicane. Craig Reed's up there in third. Here's a replay of the move for the lead in Division 2. There's John Powell. He went wide coming out of the chicane. Just got a wheel onto the grass there as Paul Rivett got his foot down the Wheatcroft straight and was able to take the lead. Meantime, into Redgate, and Simon Reed's got the inside line this time. Side by side for the lead. Simon Reed's going through. Retakes the lead of Division 1. It's all happening in this final race here at Donington. We said the last race of the day tends to be the liveliest. So Simon Reed back in front again. Still, Ryan Smith only fifth. He can't get past Stuart Oliver. Two bonneted trucks together. Bradley Smith not far behind them in 6th place, still running well. 7th is Michael Oliver, and 8th place Stephen Powell. Stephen Powell has got a 5-second penalty though for exceeding track limits. I think he'll be okay though. Clear of Tom O'Rourke. He may lose 1 place if he's unlucky. Ryan Smith weaving around on the tail of Stuart Oliver. But there's not many drivers more difficult to get past than Oliver. 5 trucks almost line astern. 2 identical Ivecos, 1st and 3rd. 2 laps to go, I think it will be this time. It's 1 minute 50 left on the clock. Over the line they come. Simon Reed, Bowler, Craig, Oliver, Smith. There's Bradley Smith in the background, being caught now by Michael Oliver and by Stephen Powell. Meanwhile, here's a battle further back. Ricky Collins having a good scrap with Simon Falk. This is for 10th place. They've been scrapping all race long, these two. Behind Tom O'Rourke. And then next in the order, Paul Rivett, who leads John Powell. On board with Paul Rivett. Here is our Division 2 leader. Had to make a pit visit when a turbo pipe came loose in race 1, else he could have had a maximum this weekend. There go your leads. Still Ryan Smith can't get past Stuart Oliver. Round McLean's. Just hasn't quite been able to get the line away. He's getting impatient now, Ryan Smith. You can see him moving around. Slides it out of Coppice. John Bowler still doing superbly to hold on in 2nd. The best weekend he's had in Division 1 so far. 30 seconds left. We're coming into the last lap this time. The last lap of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship here at Convoy in the Park. And it is a convoy of 5 trucks for the lead of this race. Stuart Oliver still under fire. Craig Reed moves across to block him. Now Oliver moves back to the inside. He's trying to sell in the dummy. No, Craig Reed stays across. 5 of them line astern. It's like that Grand Prix at Tarama in 1981, which Gilles Villeneuve held on to win in the Ferrari. We've got more penalties coming in John Bowler and Craig Reed have been given 5-second penalties. Oh, that's going to shake the leading order up a bit. So second and third place at the moment, they're going to be penalised, so that's going to put these two onto the podium almost certainly, Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith. That's a great shame for John Bowler and Craig Reed. They've driven really well in this race, but they've been picked up for track limits. Simon Reed looks like he's going to hang on to take another victory. So that fight between Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith is now effectively for second place, because Bowler and Craig Reed are going to be penalised. It's going to be a win for Simon Reed for the second time this weekend and this season in the 89. Great drive by him despite having gone off at McLean's midway through. He recovered to retake John Bowler. The rest of them fight their way through behind, and it's going to be Simon Reed coming in to take the checkered flag in our last race of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. He takes the win. Ryan Smith trying to push his way past Stuart Oliver. He can't do so. So that'll be second for Stuart Oliver. Ryan Smith is third. The rest of them coming through. Bradley Smith will get fourth. John Bowler is relegated to fifth. Then Michael Oliver, Craig Reed, Tom O'Rourke and Stephen Powell ends up ninth. Ricky Collett will complete the top 10 ahead of Simon Fulton. They've been together for most of the race. And what about Division 2? Here comes Paul Rivett through the chicane. If it hadn't been for that loose turbo pipe, he could have won all 5 this weekend. He takes his 4th win of the weekend in Division 2, ahead of John Powell, Adam Bintz and Craig Evans. It's going to be a very interesting title battle in Division 2. 3 meetings to go this season. Next they go to Snetterton in September, then it's on to Pembrey in October, before the finale on Bonfire Weekend at Brands Hatch. Provisional results then with the penalties applied. Simon Reed takes his 2nd win of the weekend. Stuart Oliver beats Ryan Smith to the line for what turned out to be 2nd place, because John Bowler was penalised, as were Craig Reed and Stephen Powell. Bradley Smith ends up 4th, just reward for his team's efforts to get him back out there. Bowler 5th ahead of Michael Oliver, then Craig Reed, Stephen Powell in 9th place. Tom O'Rourke was 8th. Ricky Collett 10th ahead of Simon Fulton. Now Paul Rivett wins again in Division 2 ahead of John Powell by 2.5 seconds. Adam Bintz in 3rd, then Craig Evans, Neil Yates and Jim Bennett the final finisher. We lost David Jenkins with what looked like a blown turbo on the opening lap.